Right, so this is my interview with my Uncle Chuck. So I'll start it off. So, how did being a cop affect your views on society?
How did it affect my views on society?
How did it change your view of the general public?
Well, when I first started being a cop, even though I was in my 20s, I don't think I'd really grown up. I don't think I really reached what it really meant for me anyway to be an adult and being a police officer. I learned what being an adult was. It was that I was responsible for people's safety, and people were counting on me to basically be the adult. So I had to kind of grow up quick, and then obviously seeing horrible things, seeing people die and things like that, it makes you realize how special life is. So a lot of it did have deep impact on me, I guess.
During your time as a police officer, did you have any regrets, or is there anything that you think you could have handled better?
Well, I probably had a lot of regrets as far as what I could have done on the job. Maybe caught a guy that later on committed a crime that if I had been smarter, maybe I could have caught him and saved somebody a lot of problems. My main regrets for the toll it took on my personal life took me away from my family. I worked several years in a row of what they call the layover watch, which is 6 at night to 2 in the morning, and that when the kids are at school and my wife's at work during the day, you don't get to see much of your family. And I'll never forget those times because it was pretty much like living by myself for a few years.
Yeah.
Why I do regret missing out on family time.
Do you think there's a problem with modern day cops, or do you think all the bad eggs are getting all the media attention?
Well, obviously the bad eggs get the majority of the media attention. I think in the last few years anyway, the media has done better as far as telling the stories about good police officers and some of the good things they've done. But I think the main problem with the police department is now they are trying to, police departments in general anyway, are trying to put up an image of and try to be politically correct instead of remembering that their main job is to fight crime. They're acting as a political arm, going out and doing things that they're really what weren't designed. When Sir Robert Peel invented modern policing, he wasn't inventing it to be politically correct. It was designed to catch bad guys and to prevent crimes.
So, if you had 6 months left to live, how would you spend those 6 months, and what would you do, essentially?
Well, I'd probably spend the first 6 hours bummed out that I only had 6 months to live. But after that, it probably sounds corny, but I'd try to spend as much of that time with my family as I could. And I'd also want to jump out of an airplane. And maybe if it was the 6 month time frame, I might not take a parachute. But,
So, how many actual friends do you have, or would you say you would have that you know aren't your friend just because you do stuff for them?
David, I would have to say that I have lots of true close friends. I have buddies that I've been friends with for over 50 years. I've pretty much I grew up in the neighborhood in which I live now. I've lived in this house here for over 30 years. So I've got lots of really close friends, and I've got probably a half a dozen guys that I could call up and say I have a problem, and they'd be here in just a couple minutes. So I'm blessed to know that I have lots of good friends.
So, do you have a favorite quote from any novel or book or movie? Just something akin to an aphorism?
One of my favorite quotes that my dad used to always say was that any plan will work if you work the plan. And I think that said a lot to me. It should say a lot to everybody that if you're willing to put up the hard work and you have any kind of plan, it can happen if you work the plan, if you're willing to work.
Do you think your life has been overwhelmingly positive or neutral in aspects, or in terms of the situations you've encountered and the situations you've
Obviously, like with everybody that's 55 years old. I've had bad times. I've had the loss of loved ones and people that I've really cared about and tragedies and stuff like that. But overwhelmingly, God has given me a wonderful life. I've been happy. I've had a good family, surrounded by people that love me and people that I love. I have beautiful children, beautiful nieces and nephews that care about me and I see all the time, and a wife that I've been married to for 35 years, so I feel like I've been very blessed.
Is there anyone that you distaste or you don't like?
I really don't dwell on people that I don't like. I mean, there's people that I would rather not socialize with. There's people that I don't want to hang around with. There's obviously people that I've encountered in my life that I don't think are good people. I mean, obviously people could point to different criminals and stuff like that, but actually a lot of the criminals that I dealt with, once I got to talking to them, they were pretty decent people that were just kind of on the wrong path. And then there's been people up at church that I would not care to socialize with. So it's it's been a mixed bag.
And and one of the last questions is, can someone be irredeemable for their actions? They've done something that they can never fully reciprocate.
Well, as a Christian, I believe that anybody can be forgiven by God for anything that they've ever done, so that they can always be redeemed by the saving grace of Jesus Christ. But as a sinner myself, there are things that people can do that I personally don't think that I would ever be able to forgive them for. Such as if someone's a pedophile, I would not be able to forgive them for that. If someone physically harmed one of my family members, I would be first in line to kick their ass. I mean, there's certain things that I personally would have struggled to forgive them for, but as a Christian, I believe that everybody is redeemable no matter what they've done.
And this isn't on the sheet, but have you ever heard of Tuesdays with Morrie, or have you ever read it? Do you know the story of
I know
Mitch?
The story. I've read the book. I know Mitch Albom, and I think that it's a great story and poignant.
Yeah.
That's the way I would describe it.
All right. Well, that's the interview.
Okay.